Hi, it's Nicholas Monaco with Jump Art Media. Today we're at the Dakota building here in Hollywood, Florida, and we're going to check out Total Window and Jesse Stolow. So let's go check it out.
Well, it's so easy now to tell a story and to get pieces of information out to people. It used to be that you did a project and you had to tell the right people and they had to tell the right people, and eventually maybe a photographer would come out and take photos of your work, or you would hire a photographer to take photos of your work, and then you would have to hope that it gets picked up and published in a magazine, and then you could have this sense of pride of this publication that you've been put in. Mm-hmm. But now, with the emergence of social media, the emergence of the individual being able to control his or her own content, none of that matters anymore. You can take all of this information, everything that you're doing, everything that you're working on, and you can create your own story. You can create bits and pieces of information. You can control, you can go onto Twitter and you can talk about a project that you're going to. You can talk about, oh, we're just going to this project for the Joneses and very excited about it. And you can take pictures of before and you can post those. Right. And you can take pictures of after. You can upload design concepts. Mm-hmm. There's capabilities out there where you can create boards and use different textures and materials and things and put those all on a digital board and send those and get those out to people. Right. There are ways that you can communicate that information out to the world. And it's even more interesting from my industry as a company that makes something, as a company that manufactures and sources luxury window treatments. People want the story. What I'm finding now is that so many people are involved and interested in the story. That's really the driving force behind sales. You can't compete. The way that the marketplace is so global and the way that everyone is getting their information all the time, 24 hours a day, from millions of different sources, you have to be able to find a way to get through to those individuals, and what they want is the story. You can't shop around anymore just on price alone. So from my industry standpoint, one of the things that we do is we tell the story of the product. We tell the story of how the product is made, where the materials are coming from. And all of these things you can very easily communicate online. In fact, one of the things that we're working on for our showroom is to develop QR code technology. Mm-hmm. So the QR code technology is going to enable a consumer or somebody that's walking into the showroom can go in and scan on their phone a little barcode. Right. And that barcode is going to get them the story. It's going to tell them information about where this product came from. It's going to tell them information. Maybe it'll show them a video of the plant that's manufacturing this, right, of the people that are making and sewing the Roman shade together, QR of pictures and things. So you can take these little snippets and, mm-hmm, and the user, the customer, the client, the designer can then empower themselves to take on ownership of that discovery. Absolutely. And then it becomes a game. Then it's fun, because then you're learning these things. Then you're trying to go out and you're trying to discover, what can I learn about a product? What can I learn about these things? And that is the way that you shape a purchasing decision. And so being able to get your story out there using social media, using just the internet in general, mm-hmm, using a website that you have, using a blog that you're creating, it's very easy. You know, Twitter and having a Twitter feed is simply a short version of a blog. You're essentially taking a short idea or a thought and putting it down to space, if you want to call it that, as opposed to having to come up with, okay, now how am I going to come up with, 16 paragraphs and a whole dialogue on something? You don't have to do that anymore. You can just get little pieces of information, and those pieces of information combine to tell a story. You can post pictures on your company's Facebook page, on your Facebook page, of projects that you're working on, of before and after, and those tell the story. And it's all of those little pieces of information that if somebody is interested in and somebody's looking for, that is how you, then they're interested, then they're drawn to you and what you do and how you do it. Because the how you do it is really a lot of times the key in what you're doing.
I think you got right down to the point. I mean, I couldn't explain it any better than what you just explained.
Yeah, I mean, I love this
stuff.
That's
great advice, absolutely.
I love this stuff. I love understanding all of the different technologies that exist and all the different technologies that are emerging. I mean, it wasn't, you know, a few months ago was when we first started to see Pinterest really coming into play from a social media, social marketing standpoint.
Great for designers.
And for designers and for companies that make something and want to get it out there, that is a tremendous resource and a tremendous opportunity to get your information out there and to use that methods and that tools. And that's not to say that Pinterest is going to be here forever, and that's not to say Twitter or Facebook is going to be here forever, but this is the technology that exists now, and it's always fascinating to see how the new technologies that emerge, and if you can work, a lot of times it gets overwhelming, right? A lot of times because there's so much out there. There's so many different pieces now, and so a lot of times as a designer or as a company or as a person, you get overwhelmed. You can't think about there's so much going on, there's so much noise that I'm expected to contribute to that sometimes people just don't do. They get overwhelmed by the process. And so it's fascinating to be able to work with individuals that know the process, that understand the process, that see ahead of the process, and the trends and the websites and the sources and the different things to find that new thing that's coming out and can help make things easier and make things easier for you that want to tell that story.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as a business owner, I think it's very difficult to always stay ahead of the curve, and you're managing so many different things, your clients and your business and finances. And marketing sometimes gets to the wayside, especially for small businesses. And most designers are pretty, they're small based. A few people, operate them. And to have someone to help you manage it is, and oversee it. I mean, you have such a wealth of knowledge of it that I'm very impressed, and I didn't know that you actually knew, all the different versions of it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So that's kudos to you and some great advice.